Dear family of light, today we will talk about the four aims of human life, which are called in Sanskrit the four Purusharthas. The four Purusharthas are necessary to live a fulfilled life. They were presented in the ancient book of yoga in the Vedas. The first three appeared in the first part of the Vedas, and the last one, Moksha, it was presented later in the Upanishads. So the Upanishads are the last part of the Vedas book. So the four Purusharthas are kama, pleasure and joy; Artha, which is wealth, prosperity, abundance; Dharma, which is duty, or it is also your path in this life, things that you have to accomplish; and finally, the fourth one is moksha, freedom, freedom for the illusion in which we are living. Now we will see them in detail. So the first one is kama, pleasure. And we have to be very careful here because many religions during the course of history denied pleasure. They talk about pleasure as a sinful thing, but this is not the case. Actually, if you avoid completely pleasure in your life, you will become very, very sick and very, very rigid. That's why if you have some impulse, especially when we talk about sexuality, it's better to fulfill these impulses, but with consciousness. So one thing is enjoy the pleasure of the 3D consciousness, like you eat a chocolate cake once in a while. It's not really necessary for your evolution, but you enjoy it. And this is a pleasure you want to give to your body from time to time. It makes no harm. It makes harm only if you start to eat 3 times a day, 3 pieces of chocolate cake every day. Then probably your digestive system will suffer a little bit. The same thing go with sex, with drinking, and with all the pleasure that with food. If you constantly eat all day, every day, you will at some point explode. That's normal. So, but it is also important to don't deny pleasure, and this is what most of the religion tell you, that pleasure is bad, that you have to avoid it, and so they put all kinds of restriction to you. But these restrictions are just meant to control you. Actually, to fulfill your dharma, which we will talk about in some minutes, you need to fulfill your pleasure. You have to have a pleasurable life. And this is also the base of the tantric philosophy. That means to don't escape pleasure. If pleasure is offered to you as a gift and you were not searching for it, you will rejoice it. You will know that it will go away, it will pass. But you will stay with it, you will have a pleasurable experience, and you will move on without judgment. So don't judge yourself for enjoying pleasure, and don't judge other people for enjoying pleasure as well. So instead of being critic to yourself, try to ask this question: does those pleasure align to my purpose in life? They align with my dharma, or they are contrary to my dharma? Maybe this is the best question that you can ask yourself, and according to the answer you will act. The second one is Artha, prosperity or abundance. And this is very important. Again, religion try to say that poorness is the best choice, to don't possess anything, but the problem is not possession. The problem is attachment to the possession that you have. You can be a monk and still be attached to your robe. Then being attached to the robe or to $10 million, psychologically the same. You are attached to something. So really to be free means to be free of attachment. But to experience this life, you need a certain level of comfort, a certain level of abundance. Somebody call it financial security. So to have a roof over your head, to have a safe place where to sleep, where to rest, a kitchen where to cook your meals. All these basic things are part of Artha. Artha, of course, is not accumulation, is not greed, is not I want more, it's not this obsession with possessing stuff, but is really covering the basics and also to be comfortable, because remember, in order to experience pleasure, kama, you need Artha, you need some form of abundance, some form of prosperity. Of course, prosperity means different things to different people. And I met poor people that really unhappy about their poor situation. And I also met rich people. They were not happy because they were attached to the money, and they were not really relaxed in their everyday life. And so depends really about your psychological state. I also met some rich people. They were really relaxed about it. They didn't care about the money. They just have it. They use it for good. They had a beautiful job. And they enjoyed life in the best way that they can. So which number is you need in your bank, I cannot tell you. But maybe 600 billion is a bit too much. And maybe $10 in the bank account is not enough. So try to stay somewhere in the middle and to have a balanced life. But Artha, it is really important, and you will not achieve Moksha, the fourth of the Purusharthas, while abandoning all possession and go to the Himalaya in a cave and meditate. I mean, you will achieve probably a lot of consciousness, but maybe not freedom. So be very careful with how you relate with money, prosperity, and abundance in your life. And use this abundance to create a safe place for yourself, for your family, for your beloved one, and a comfortable life that can give you time and psychological space for creating what do you want to create in this lifetime. Because remember, if you are running behind a plate of rice and a glass of water every day, you will not have time. That's survival. This is not Artha. This is just you are in survival mode, which sadly enough, still there are people around the world that are in this state right now, but they cannot fulfill Artha because they are fighting every day for the basics. So this is to have a bit more of the basic, to have also electronic that you can use. I mean, things that make your life easier instead of complicated. And so if you use all these things, this money, this wealth, this house that you have to fulfill your Dharma, then you are aligned with the source, and then is more easy for you to achieve the fourth of the Purusharthas, which is moksha. Then we have Dharma, that is our duty in this lifetime. And to live according to your Dharma implies that you are listening very careful to yourself and not to what society expects from you. If you act accordingly to yourself, you will fulfill your Dharma. If not, you will just be a puppet in the hands of a corporation, of the pharmacy, of the doctor, big pharma, governments, religion, etc., etc. So we are born in this life in a specific family, for example. We in a specific country, rich or poor, depending on on our dharma. Even if then we travel, we live in other country, but there is a imprinting, there is a education that we receive in the first 10, 15 years of our life that will dictate basically our dharma, because from our education it comes, there is an outcome there that can be positive or negative, depends how good was our education and how good we use then this education. Then there is also another education, which is self-education, which many schools cannot give you, your parents cannot give you, and that you will acquire during your life, meeting people, traveling, reading books, whatever it is. But your dharma also should be something that you are good at it. I mean, are you good at your job? Because if you are not good, why are you in that job? Just for the money? Or you are doing this job because really it fulfills yourself? This is very important. Sometimes that's fine. We can have a financial struggle. We can accept a job for a couple of years just in order to survive, and that's fine. But slowly, slowly, we have to align all our action, all our focus, all our attention, all our intention to this Dharma, to our path, to the things that we have to do in our life. Because till we will not walk this path, we will constantly suffer. So the end of suffering and moksha starts only when you are following your Dharma. Fourth and last one is moksha, freedom. We already talked in some videos ago about 4D and 5D consciousness, or 4D and 5D awakening, which is basically the same as moksha. Moksha implies that you are free from the three-dimensional limitation of fear, of separation, of I am not good enough, and all this talking that comes from your ego. Your ego is always telling you something. You are too fat, you are too poor, you are not good enough. This is all nonsense. You have to take out all this trash from your brain and clear up your mind. And remember, you have to apply the first three Purusharthas. So you need pleasure, fulfill it. You need Artha, the prosperity, fulfill it. You have to fulfill your Dharma, and then eventually you are free, because When the first three are rolling, are moving, then, and there is no forcing anymore, you're not searching. When you stop searching, then you will get free. You will achieve freedom, liberation. And this is where the trouble begins, because moksha is not something that you attain in the future, or there is something that it can be attained in this very moment. That's the truth. Was all the teaching of Jiddu Krishnamurti, which was a philosopher of the last century. All his teaching goes back to there is no need for time. You can just right now, with awareness, free yourself from all this boundary. And this teaching is very aligned, by the way, with the Pleiadian wisdom. The Pleiadian don't believe in karma. I'm sorry to tell you this. There is no karma. The karma can be burned in half a second, right now, because you decide like that, because from now on you will live according to your consciousness. You live accordingly to your Dharma. And then life is no more a resistance. Life flows, no? That's why Lao Tzu was saying, be like the water. The water flows down the stream that there is here below. It doesn't climb up the mountain, it goes down. Simply, the path with the less forcing. That's very difficult from our different from our society that teach us that we have to struggle and work very hard to achieve the things. But the reality is that the more relaxed and accomplished people are people that they don't force, because they are aligned. Maybe they work a lot of hours, maybe they work 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week, but there is no forcing, because that's their path. They want to do the things and they are happy about it. Nobody pushed them to do it. Of course, there is a lot of discussion now how much is healthy, how many hours you can work a week without causing any trouble to your brain and your body. This is a long discussion. And also, we know that with artificial intelligence, this will change. We will reduce the working hour. Many people are already proposing a 25 or 30 hour job week, which will take place probably from now in some years. So try to relax. You have to relax. If you are not relaxed, moksha will never happen, and all your life will be a struggle, because you're doing what your parents told you to do, you do what your friends told you to do, you do what your husband or wife told you to do. This is not freedom. You have to listen to yourself and take time to meditate on what do you really want for your life, what is your mission in this life, and then follow it, but also enjoying life, being in a relaxed mood, and then the struggle ends, and you are living from your fourth chakra and your fifth chakra, so from the 4D consciousness and 5D consciousness. So this is everything for today. I wish you a lot of light. I hope you can relax more. And for now, be at peace, be at peace.